Hey everybody, thanks for coming back. I know I haven't posted in a while, and it's because I've been very selfishly self-involved in myself. So that's it. What I want to talk about today is how reliant we are on people we don't know. Retailers, food manufacturers, the clothing industry, cars, oil and gas, electricity. So whichever side you fall on, it doesn't matter, left, right, red, blue. We are all reliant. Like, if COVID showed us anything, it's that we can survive without the things that we've become accustomed to, but God, it's so uncomfortable. And actually, some people didn't survive because one of the things that I left out is the pharmaceutical companies. Some of us have become so reliant on medicine, on drugs, that we can't go on living without it. Our liver will shut down, organ failure, etc. Or we may have some sort of a mental psychotic break without these medications. So is anything ever going to change? I don't know. But little by little, I am trying to be less reliant on these things. I believe fashion is art. And I love makeup and I like hair and I do all of these things to look like I am not as old as I am or as tired as I am. But just to survive, I mean, we were all indoor for like months and months and months. So nobody cared. And we can always turn off the video, right? When we're on Zoom calls or Teams or whatever. So that became less and less important. And what I have realized, and it really hit me hard today at the grocery store. I know that sounds silly, but they were out of the milk that I like. I drink organic almond milk. Call it bougie. I don't care. It's what I've become accustomed to. It's what I'm used to and what I like. They didn't have it. Not one carton. Not to one. And I didn't like that. So I had to get regular milk, regular organic milk. Nonetheless, I had to make a choice. And right then and there, in the milk aisle, I thought, what am I doing? I don't know how to milk an almond. I can't do this stuff myself. I'm totally reliant on someone else for my own sustenance. And I'm training my child to be the same way. He's very used to the same things I am. And I don't want him to do that. So it's kind of like do as I say, not as I do, because I'm constantly telling him you need to be able to take care of yourself. I want him to be self-sufficient by 14. It's not looking too bright there because he is a total mama's boy and he's got very expensive taste. But I digress. What I'm getting at is relationships and how people feel when they are around us is what, to me, this is my opinion, is the most important thing in the world. We are programmed to be reliant on human interaction. I feel like some of the highest functioning adults are sociopaths because they don't need that. They don't feel those things. They don't have that feeling of deep connection to another human soul. And so to some degree, an empath like me is sort of handicapped in that way. But it's also a gift. So I don't want to ramble on too much, but what is important to you? And have you ever had an organic, original thought of your own? Or is everything, because not only are we reliant on some unknown entity for food, shelter, water, but our own thoughts, feelings, emotions. It's critical that we come up with something day to day in order to survive. Like we've got to set goals. I've got something to do and something to look forward to every day. I've always believed that to be true. But none of that came from me. I feel like I was born, I was in the womb ingrained with someone else's ideas and habits and beliefs. Religion. If it was here before I was born and I'm regurgitating any of that information, it's not my ideas. I can feel strongly about it. I can have convictions, but I didn't come up with those. They're not actually mine. I have adopted them. So I think maybe the mental health issues that some of us have are that we have some original thoughts and beliefs and questions. And we have been medicated and programmed and conditioned and indoctrinated to believe that that's wrong, because we need to be kept in line. Otherwise, chaos ensues and it's the purge. I don't know. I feel safe being governed, but at the same time, I feel like I'm overly governed. I don't want my guns being taken, or my rights, or my child, or my freedoms. But so where do we go? I don't know that I could survive out in the woods, the wilderness, the wild on my own. Could I keep my child alive? I don't know. I don't have that kind of training. So a couple of questions. You comment below. Can you survive without any of these man-made devices? Can you survive on your own, truly on your own, without human connection and without all of the material things that we've become accustomed to? Electricity, boxed up food, water out of the tap, medication. If tomorrow all those things disappeared, and I'm talking like we're not getting anything door dashed, it's gone. You have got to forage and hunt and dig for water and clean that water. I mean, could you do that? I know some hunters, but what about the rest of it? How are we going to cook it? How are we going to make sure it's safe? These things are vital. My other question is, do you have your own belief system? Do you have your own questions? Not things that your parents taught you, not things that we learned in school, not things we learned in organized religion, or even, for me, the program of AA, which I do believe is compiled of some of the most ancient philosophies and religions in the world. But I use those belief systems, the program, the steps, sponsorship, and the fellowship principles. I use all of that so that I can stay in line and I can function in this world, because I have a lot of crazy thoughts that I've never heard anybody else come up with. And it scares me a little bit because I've been programmed to believe that there's something scary or something wrong with those thoughts. So I don't share them. I don't want to be put away. It's nothing dangerous. It's just I have questions about how things work. And I feel that there are some untruths. And, recently, and maybe I should make a whole other video about this, but recently something happened and I made a mistake. And at the same time, someone did something, an ex-employer did something, and it humiliated me in front of all of my peers, professional peers, not really all of them, maybe a handful, but I like to be dramatic for effect. But the rumor has been circulating among all of my peers. My close friends in this group are very supportive and they know better and it's fine. And I have made it a bigger thing than I should have because I've given it life. I've talked about it too much, including now. But what I'm getting at with this is how much of what we are told do we adopt? Take it on as our own and say, that must be true. And now I'm going to go repeat that to someone else because I believe it to be the word of God. I believe it to be fact, gospel. How many times when we hear what might be gossip, do we say, I don't know about that. That has not been my experience with this person. Not only that, but this person is not present, so I don't really think that we should be discussing it. Even if we see something on paper, I don't know that to be true. And we don't know the circumstances. So what this experience has given me is even more empathy, because I've always had empathy, but it's been sort of misdirected. I feel other people's feelings, but almost in a selfish, people-pleasing way. Like, oh no, that hurts me. It hurts me for you to hurt, and don't cry. You're gonna make me cry, that kind of thing. Now, I feel more of, man, that just happened to me, and from here on out, I will be different when I hear something about someone. So comment below if you're the 1%, and I'm just making this statistic up, but if you're the 1% who can hear something about someone or even see it on paper and say to yourself and out loud, do you have the courage to stand out and say, I don't believe this is true, or we don't know the circumstances? Are you that person, or are you most likely, because I've been both, are you most likely going to say, oh damn, I won't be talking to that person anymore. That sounds terrible. I believe it. And this could be a vax or no vax issue if you really get down to it. I'm not going to go there because people start fighting and being crazy. But what kind of person are you? Can you survive on your own? Are you reliant upon other people? Do you have your own emotions, thoughts, feelings, ideas? Do you have the courage to stand alone against things that everybody else is saying, believing? Okay. I'll see you guys. Thank you.